What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Hey y'all. Hey guys. Another day, another dollar back like I never left. How y'all been doing? How y'all been doing? I rarely ask that, and not because I don't care. It's just by the time I be recording these, I be ready to get in and get out. Okay, I be hungry. It's just but that don't mean I don't care. How are you guys doing? It is a lot going on in the world. Per usual, this been the case for the last year and a couple months now. And before that, because let's not get it twisted, this is not a new anomaly, but it's just a lot going on. So, how is everybody doing? How is it going in spite of, right? In spite of what's happening, we at war. We are at war. We are being heavily censored. I realize that because y'all know I keep saying this. I'm chronically online. I've only seen one video about what is going on in Iran, in Israel, and so on. I have not seen any videos to the point where I was pushed a video and it was showing live footage of cities being bombed. Y'all, we ain't seen none of this. Apparently, it is going down overseas, and we have been completely censored. We're not receiving the information. We are not getting accurate reporting of the news. If you go on social media, remember back in the day, social media platforms were the place where you could hear from people actually on the ground what was happening. Y'all, those days are over. We are in the authoritarian regime. We are in it. And so with that can come a lot of stress. Cause I know I'm stressed out because I got to know what's going on. Even if I don't know all of the ins and outs, I at least like to know, like y'all, and be aware of the movement. But I don't know if y'all noticed that as well. We are actively censored. So, now there's outlets, foreign outlets that people are trying to find. I know Canadian news be on point with delivering the updates, but it's just really challenging for people to stay abreast. And after what went down with BAFTA and BBC, hey man, I used to say watch BBC, but now, but with all that said, it is a very interesting and a new time. We are living in history. That it is what it is. And with that in mind, I really want to quickly segue into this topic because it has been a big conversation starter. I haven't covered this because it is not specific to my area, but the backlash has been very, very interesting and may relate to the Black News listeners. And that specifically is the Texas Senate race in the election that just went down where Jasmine Crockett was running for a seat in the United States Senate. Now, as y'all know, she was in the United States Congress. Apparently, because of the gerrymandering and all of the shadiness that happened in Texas, she was at risk of losing her seat, if I'm not mistaken. But Jasmine, she is a global powerhouse. And I learned this recently over the last few months because there were people from other countries showing support for her. So this her reach is now beyond the United States and Texas. But she was running against in the primary James Tellerico, who is a white Christian guy. He I think he doesn't, from what I gather, his background ain't the same as Jasmine Crockett. She has more boots on the ground experience as it relates to the United States government. Either way, he won. So Jasmine Crockett is out. She is not now going to the general election, and she will only be in Congress until 2027. After that, I'm sure she's going to have a very fruitful career. I'm sure she is going to take her quest to new heights. And depending on what happens at this election, after this election, which I'm going to get to, honestly, I don't know when the next governor race is coming up or what the news is and the term limits will happen to them. She probably should run for governor, but we'll get there. The backlash to that election has been what I predict will be a theme moving forward for elections around the country. In addition to, I know I've been saying that, your boy over there in that house on the East Coast has been dropping language and dropping hints to the fact that him and his team are now trying to figure out how to intervene on a federal level for all elections. So like we've been telling y'all, they trying to rig the election. I will honestly be surprised if we have an election in November. That's just me. I told y'all where we at. We know where we at. But that's that's another conversation. Adjacent, but it's not what we're talking about right now. First thing I want to talk about with this, there were reports of voter suppression in Texas. Not shocking, I know, but this is an example of having real-time examples of what we are up against now and moving forward. Was no real-time solution. People were turned away. I saw a couple of reports where people were on the news saying that they have historically voted at one particular location for X amount of years. They hadn't changed addresses. Nothing changed about their registration. They called ahead of time to confirm if this is my voting location. They were told, yes, it was confirmed online or over the phone. They arrived to that location the day of voting and were told that their name is not on the list. They were then told your precinct voting location is somewhere else. So in some cases, it's all the way across town. I saw one lady on the news say she went across town. When she got there, they said they didn't have her on record either. That's one example. Another example people were saying is in Texas, and I guess this is the case. It's always been the case. There is a Democrat section for voting and a Republican section for voting. And at some of the voting locations for Democrats, it was only 1 to 2 voting booths. The Republican side, they had multiple. So obviously, the line is backed up on the Democratic side. People are waiting hours to vote. I saw one post. And I don't remember who, I saw so many, I don't remember who posted what. I just remember the context. One post I saw where someone was saying they ran out of Democrat ballots. So they had to sit and wait hours for someone to drop off more ballots. When they dropped off the ballots, still didn't have enough. This is widespread voter suppression. We talking about an effort to push us back into Jim Crow, which again, we have been saying and talking about. So we knew it, but I just want people to be aware it's happening in real time. Now, I didn't hear because I believe Virginia has an election. Elections were taking place all over the country. The one that I heard about the most was Texas, with the most at stake because, as we remember, when Jasmine Crockett announced her candidacy for Senate, the White House had something to say. People had something to say, and it came off like there was somebody was intimidated by her entering this election. Well, she lost, and James Tallarico won. Now, I did not know about his background, right? I only know just by stuff that I saw on social media. But the takeaways were that based on news reports and people from in Texas, his approach, and he was saying that, of course, he is I believe, a pastor or has Christian ideals. His approach was to one, appeal to people on the right and the far right who have those same Christian principles, who are looking for an alternative. He wants to convert the red hats over to the other side. Wasn't really focused on black voters, wasn't really focused on that particular demographic. I believe he may have been focused on the heavy Hispanic vote, because he got that. He got like a good amount of white votes, but black women and black men showed up in record numbers for Jasmine Crockett, as we expected. Now, as someone who has, and I saw this posted on social media, a creator said this: black people have expert pattern recognition that other people do not have. We have been in a place in society in this country for so long where we had to be ultra observant of everyone around us and all of the happenings that involved us and that were adjacent to us, to the point where now we can see the pattern, we can spot the evil, like we know what's coming because we have centuries of experience in the field with doing this. Other people don't have this. So a lot of black voters were after the fact were saying they're not voting for Tallarico. They didn't vote for him in the primary because they were comparing him to John Fetterman, who is one of the senators from Pennsylvania, I believe. The one who now is a red hat. He act like he a red. He one wearing a hoodie and shit all the time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So people have been like, listen, I know the pattern. I know the game. You cannot flip people who voted in alignment with the red hat. That doesn't work like that. You're not going to flip them. Well, something interesting happened as a result. There are some people, some black people, black women, black men who are like, oh, well, you know what? Jasmine lost. Tellerico is in the general now. We're going to vote for him because we know it's his stake. Y'all, there is an overwhelming amount of people on social media. And I don't know if it's just algorithms specifically pushing this to me, but there are quite a few people, black men and women, who are now saying, I'm not voting for him. Either I'm not voting for him at all, or they're saying what other demographics have been saying about candidates for years, he has to earn my vote. And now people who supported him are becoming very angry. As if there's an expectation for black people to always support the candidate regardless of if they own or they earn our vote or not. It is, you need to vote and y'all need to get in line. Y'all, I honestly think, based on what I'm seeing, I think the tide has officially turned. And this is why. With everything that happened this past election with Kamala Harris not winning, and when the data came back of who voted one way or didn't, then fast forward to now where you got people online crying, talking about some, I I didn't know he was gonna be like this. I didn't think, how could I have known? Because we told you the pattern recognition. Then you have fast forward to black women being laid off from the federal government. You have all of these things, people removing DEI when black people aren't even the top beneficiaries of diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and policies. You got book banning. You got people shutting down black history museums. It's to the point where after this election, I have a strong feeling that the black voter turnout in Texas for that Senate race is going to be some of the lowest we have ever seen. I'll be shocked. It will be a hard turn. Tellerico and his camp will have to do a whole lot, in my opinion, to turn this tide. Because I don't think I've ever heard anything like this. I don't think I've seen this from black people at all, where we're like, you know what? You got it. You got it. This the last time we told y'all what to do. This the last time you gonna play. Now you got it. Now with that in mind, Looking at the numbers and looking at the demographics in the state of Texas, James Talarico doesn't really need the black vote. If he succeeds at doing what he said he was going to do and flipping people from one side to the other and increasing turnout in all of the other demographics, he can win. But I don't know what that strategy is and how you accomplish that. But again, we are only a small subset of the population. You can tap into those other markets to get the job done. Now, again, I'm not in Texas. Hearing from people from Texas, they're not confident that's going to happen. They're saying if Beto couldn't get elected, this guy can't. Some people are claiming he had donation money from one of the Red Hats' biggest donors. They were saying, they're saying all kind of stuff, wolf in sheep's clothing. Some people are like, well, I trust him because he speaks in terms of Christianity the way that relates to me or normal people. I understand. I understand that. However, I have never seen this many black people collectively say this the last time you play in our face. So I'm come November, I will be very, very interested to see what happens. On the flip side, y'all, in California, the governor's race, it's a hot ass mess. Y'all, I ain't seen one pamphlet, one flyer, one commercial for none of the candidates. I ain't seen no promo for any of the candidates. It's 1,000 freaking candidates out here. No conversation, no big names, nothing. And I just want to remind everybody in California, we had the red hat. Arnold Schwarzenegger was our governor back to back. He was wearing the red hat. Everybody think California's so liberal. No, it's not. So just so y'all know the nuance of what's happening, baby, it's going down out here as well. But let me know if you are, what y'all think. Were you all in Texas? Did you all vote within this last election? Did you experience some level of voter suppression yourself, or did you hear about it? Let me know. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. Y'all, I think it's safe to say that this is officially the end of award season when it comes to film and television. We have reached the finale. And y'all, what a ride it has been. Some people, some years rather be just super boring when it comes to movies. Like I'm talking about couldn't care less, just watching a watch. Ain't no black people nominated, no black people, nothing. Just straight up, it is what it is. This has been one of, for me, I'm speaking for me, maybe for also the Black News listener, one of the most exciting, refreshing, and stressful and anger inducing seasons we've had in a long time. All of those in one. All of those in one. I swear, Sinners done brought out some of the craziest, most unknowledgeable, but on the other side, some of the most passionate and creative and thought-provoking fandom and conversations that I've seen in a long time. You got people who really love the movie and people who really hate the movie. And I've talked about this a little bit, but I have spent a lot of time trying to understand how people can hate the movie and not like the movie. And while also trying to figure out, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the type of person that likes a movie like One Battle After Another. And I think I've explained it on here, right? But what I've come to the conclusion with Sinners, everybody has their taste, right? But I think on one end, I've noticed and have learned, I always knew this, but I think it's really revealed in mass. There are a lot of people who watch movies who have never who never will or have no interest in watching movies with black people in them. They'll watch one. If it's like a Denzel or a Will Smith, maybe Don Cheadle, maybe Viola Davis, they'll watch. But if it is a movie that is considered a film or predominantly black or minority cast, they do not watch, have not watched, and have no movies in their database to compare or pull from. So when people see these scenes and these stories depicted on screen, it's literally like watching something in another language. They don't watch. People call themselves film experts and they don't watch. So watching a movie like Sinners, based in the Jim Crow South, where the Klan get smoke mowed down the Klan at the end, they literally cannot stand it. They can't understand it. They can't watch. They don't want to watch. I'm also for us our sake. I want us to do more challenging with people who call themselves film critics, and I'm not calling myself a film critic at all. I just enjoy movies, and I am in the business of entertainment. I want us to start asking people when they start talking. Let's start challenging they film knowledge. What's your favorite movie by the Hughes brothers? What's the best movie that Gina Prince Bythewood directed? John Singleton movie. Name your favorite John Singleton movie that's not Boys in the Hood. Okay, we need to. We need to start pushing back because again, hey, I'm tired of it. But then also, and this on some pettiness. I don't know if I told you over the past couple months, it's been really, 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 really sitting with me. The Klan, right? The Klan. It's been really. I've probably in the last couple weeks or maybe a couple months watched quite a few documentaries about the Klan. And I hope I don't get flagged for this episode. Y'all know whenever I say certain words, they be shutting me down. But I knew how big the organization was, but I did not realize the actual numbers. By the mid 1920s, there were 4 to 5 million people in the Klan. And this ain't just some word of mouth. This is a membership based organization with dues. So those members, those are the ones who could afford it. Y'all know it's people who ain't had the money for the dudes that was kicking it with them. They were adjacent to it, hanging out and doing the dirty work as well, but they just didn't have the cash to sign up. So the numbers are actually probably more. So by the mid 1920s, you have 4 to 5 million people in an organization that was enacting violence onto Black people in this country. That means there's a lot of people right now. A lot of people right now. And I probably have said this on like y'all know I be repeating shit. Y'all one thing I'm gonna do is repeat something. Okay? Because I be forgetting. But it's highly likely that it's a lot of people right now who had a grandmom, a grandfather, a meemaw, papa, a great uncle, grand uncle, cousin, brother, who was out here terrorizing. They was terrorizing the community. So if that is the case, and these aren't secrets, these aren't family secrets, people know, right? So if that's the case, I can see why you don't like a movie about smoke mowing down Papa and them. I get it. Because baby Smoke came out with that. He came out with that World War I shotgun. Then he pulled out the Chicago Tommy. He came out with the Tommy Hilfiger on their ass. Okay, Smoke mold them. Hey, I can see why that would really make some people upset. So I get it. Okay, but I say all that to say, the next time we speak on this podcast, the next time I record an episode, I will either be slightly satisfied, really happy and elated for the cast and crew of Sinners, or I'm going to be madder than a mug because the Academy Awards are coming this coming Sunday. So y'all already know what it is. I will, and I'm going to give it a couple weeks after the fact because depending on how it go, I'm going to still have some conversations about what took place. But we wrapping up my damn weekly or bi-weekly rant as Sinners, unofficial Sinners street team because the day is coming. We are nearing the end of this. So with that in mind, again, I told y'all before, I've watched the movies. I've seen the performances. I finally know, I will be honest, I have not finished Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent. I finally found them on streaming. They're finally on Hulu. Well, one is on Hulu, another one is somewhere else. But I found it free because I'm gonna tell you what, I wasn't gonna pay for these movies. Hey, I wasn't paying. Okay, my SAG after dues covers the movies. Okay, I got my screeners. I pay my dues. I have my screeners, but the screeners did not have sentimental value and the secret agent, at least for SAG Awards, because how it works is you get screeners for all of the things that have a nomination. So if something got a best sound nomination, you're going to get that movie. If something has a best ensemble nomination, like I had all the ones that were nominated. I had One Battle, Sinners, um, Frankenstein. I had all those. But I didn't have F1. I didn't have Secret Agent and Sentimental Value because those didn't have any SAG, those actor nominations. Okay. So with that said, I am now going to go through the ballot for the main categories, the ones that we all are interested in. I'm not going to do best short, documentary short, live action short. I'm not going to do those. I'm going to go through the categories and I'm going to say who I want to win, who deserves to win, and who I think they'll pick to win. Okay? And I want y'all to do the same. I'm gonna have to be ready, armed with the tools on Sunday, because that's what we're doing. Because we all know the answers to all three can be very different. Who you want to win, who deserves to win, and who you think they'll pick to win. Okay, let's do it. So for Best Picture, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams. Best Picture. Who I want to win, Sinners. Who I think deserves to win, Sinners. Who I think they'll pick to win, One Battle After Another. We already have seen it. They've already they cleaned up. Actor leading. Okay. We got Timothy Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura. Who I want to win, Michael B. Jordan. Who deserves to win, Michael B. Jordan. Who I think they'll pick to win, honestly, I think the Academy gonna throw a sleeper and go with probably Wagner. I don't think, based on momentum, Chalamet is gonna win. I wouldn't be. So I think they will either pick Wagner. I think they're gonna go. They're gonna go do a haymaker with Wagner or Chalamet. But I won't and think Michael deserves that. Best Actor Supporting category. We got Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Delroy Lindo, Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård. Who I want to win, Delroy Lindo. Who deserves to win, Delroy Lindo. Who I think they'll pick to win, Delroy Lindo. I think Delroy Lindo is going to win because we all know the Academy sometimes likes to award people for work that they've done in the past. They like to make up for something. Denzel didn't win for Malcolm X. They later gave it for Training Day. Spike Lee ain't won for Do the Right Thing. He got best original best screenplay for Black Klansman, and he got that the governor's honorary award. They do this. Delroy Lindo is beloved by the type of people who are voters. They really fool with Delroy, and a lot of people know that he should have got nominated for his role in The Five Bloods. They know that was a mistake. So I honestly think he gonna be the sleeper and they're gonna give it to Delroy. I'll be shocked. Now keep in mind, he hadn't been nominated. They didn't put him in the nominations for other things. This was kind of a surprise out of nowhere. It was well deserved. So I think they're gonna give it to him. Okay, next. Best Actress Leading. Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne. I don't even know how to pronounce Rose's last name, but y'all get it. Kate Hudson, Renate Renisiv. I don't know how to pronounce her name either. And Emma Stone. Who I want to win, Jessie Buckley. Who deserves to win, Jessie Buckley. Who I think they'll pick to win, Jessie Buckley. Child, she ate down in that role. I ain't gonna even hold you. She was in Hamnet. She ate down in that role. Jessie Buckley, she deserved that win. Okay, she needed. Then we have Best Director. The nominees: Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie, Paul Thomas Anderson, Joachim Trier, and Ryan Coogler. Who I want to win? Ryan Coogler. Who deserves to win? Ryan Coogler. Who I think they'll pick to win? Paul Thomas Anderson. We already know the game. We know the game. Okay, we already know the game. Even though Ryan deserves this. All right. Original screenplay: Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Sinners. Who I want to win? Sinners, Ryan Coogler. Who deserves to win? Ryan Coogler. Who I think they'll pick? Honestly, I'd said this a long time ago. Sometimes some people like to use awards that they know you're supposed to get as a way to punish you or put you in your place. So while I think they'll pick Sinners, Ryan Coogler to win original screenplay, I will not be shocked if they was on that bullshit. Okay. But I'll go with Sinners, even because he deserved that. All right, we got a couple more. Adapted screenplay: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams. Who I want to win? Train Dreams. Who deserves to win? Train Dreams. Who I think they'll pick? One Battle After Another. Y'all gotta watch Train Dreams. It was so simple, but it was just really well done, and it just stuck with you. Watch the movie. It's on Netflix. Cinematography, y'all. Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Train Dreams. Who I want to win? Sinners. Who deserves to win? Sinners tied with Train Dreams. Both of those cinematography were fantastic. Who I think they'll pick to win? Child, watch they pull a weirdo move and pick One Battle After Another. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do that. But honestly, I think they're going to Autumn, Archibald, and the Train Dream cinematographer, they going head to head with that one. That's a tough one. Original song: Dear Me, Golden, I Lied to You, Sweet Dreams of Joy, Train Dreams. Y'all already know this. I think I want I Lied to You to win. I think I Lied to You deserves to win based on what's been happening. They'll pick Golden. Original score: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners. Who I want to win, who deserves to win, and who they'll pick to win? Sinners. Y'all know how I feel about that score. Ludwig had no business putting his foot in that score like he did, okay? Production design: Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners. I think they're going to go with, for that one, Frankenstein. Who I want to win? Sinners. Who deserves to win? Sinners. You get what I'm saying? What's another one? Costume design: Avatar, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme. This is the legendary Ruth E. Carter who's nominated. I want Ruth to win. Ruth deserves to win. But also Frankenstein, what they did with Frankenstein, that and makeup, they did their thing. So this tie with Sinners and Frankenstein, I think they're going to give it to Frankenstein. Same with makeup and hairstyling. I think they're going to give that to Frankenstein. I also think they did a good job. I think they deserve to win makeup and hairstyling. I want Sinners to win. Now, I'm not going to go through visual effects and sound and all of that. The last one I'm going to go over: Best Casting. We have Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sinners. Who I want to win? Sinners. Who deserves to win? Sinners. Who I think they'll pick to win? Sinners. This is a new category. First time they're doing this one. And this is about, similar to at the Actor Award, the Best Ensemble. This is about the overall cast, right? The characters, the method of casting, finding difficult characters. Like they did a worldwide search for Miles's character, for Miles Caton. That is best casting. Sinners, hands down, should get that. Now, with all of that said, that's been my favorite phrase too. Y'all know I've been saying that too much. Good grief. But with all that said, there have been a lot of conversations about Sinners in comparison to The Color Purple. and how The Color Purple had 11 nominations and did not walk away with anything. They didn't win nothing. This was 1985. Sinners in 2026 is nominated for a record-breaking 16 nominations. People are saying they're going to pull The Color Purple. They better not walk away with zero. It's going to be just like 1985 all over again. I'm going to say this. Based on the trajectory of this award season, there should be, I'll do air quotes, at least 3 guaranteed wins for Sinners. The guaranteed wins are Best Score, Best Casting, and Best Original Screenplay. If they don't win those 3 categories, then something is definitely afoot. And I think everyone will know. It won't be one of those things where it'll be like, well, it was just, there was a better choice. No. There are at least 3 categories that at this stage, because y'all gotta keep in mind, all of the award shows, all of those small guilds, the foreign guilds, all of those have people within those also in the Academy voting pool. So the same way all of these people combined voted, it should align to an extent with these. So with those 3, if those 3 win, they've consistently won. Except at the Golden Globes, where they didn't have original and adapted screenplay. They combined them and they gave it to Paul Thomas Anderson. Those 3 should win. So if they don't win, something should be afoot. I think they may walk away with, on a good night, 5. If they get 5, 2 acting awards in those 3, to me, that is a really, really good night. And I will be shocked because once again, who you want to win, who deserves to win, and who I think they'll pick to win can be extremely different. With that said, we will talk about it next time on the podcast. Gather y'all predictions. And if you're going to be like me, you going to, hey, I'm already ready to be madder than a mug. I'm going to think positively though, because even though I know Ryan Coogler specifically does not attach himself to award season, I want my people recognized for the work that they've done and to be solidified in the history books. They already are solidified as the people's champ. And when it's all said and done, it's going to go down the same way Do the Right Thing didn't win anything. And it's gone down in history as one of the best and most important movies of all time. I want my people to get they just do. Okay. I'm leaving here with some. What did Denzel say? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with some. Okay. Let me know your predictions and who you think will be taking some of the awards home. Let me know. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about voter suppression happening in Texas this past week during the primary election and what's next for some of the candidates and one of the strongest voting bodies in the state. We also talked about the upcoming awards weekend, how we're finally wrapping this up, and what our predictions were for this year's 2026 Academy Awards. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Cornelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is cornelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.